Hey everybody, it's Kayak Cliff, and I'm doing a review today on the Explorer line of kayaks from Sea Eagle. I'm holding right here the 380X. This is a 12'6" kayak, and it's one of my favorites because you can literally do anything in this kayak. Let's get started with the review. I'm going to take you out on the water, and I'm going to show you a few things here before we put it in the water. First of all, it rolls up about the tightest of any of the inflatable kayaks that are on the market. And when I roll it out, it's 12'6", and all you got to do is inflate it. So I'm going to get the inflator out, and we'll do that right now. Now there's two methods of inflation for these kayaks. Your kayaks from Sea Eagle will come with a manual pump, and this pump works great. It just takes a little bit more time, and you're just a little bit more tired before you get out on the water, but not much, because you can inflate them manually in about 10 minutes, really maybe 8 to 10 minutes. Over the years, I've grown to prefer the battery-operated inflatable pumps from Sea Eagle as well. These, in my opinion, eventually after you've been kayaking, these are a must, and that's why I'm going to inflate it with. What you have here is, on the Explorer, you have two side air chambers. These are our pontoons, and we'll inflate these, and then we'll inflate the floors. So there's three separate air chambers. There's the pontoon here, and then floor. The pontoons are inflated to 3.2 psi, and with the pump, all you have to do is put it on 3.2 and hitting the button, and off it goes. The one good thing about the battery operated inflators is you can set it to inflate and then go to your vehicle and get all the other things that you need to get ready for kayaking while it gets inflated by itself. The way I like to do it, I like to inflate it to almost full capacity, and then I stop and do the floor, and then I come back and do these one last time. And last, I'm going to do the floor, and the floor is a drop stitch floor. So whereas these pontoons just hold air, they're 3.2 psi, the floor is a drop stitch floor, which has two layers that form the floor, but then they're interconnected with thousands of filaments and fibers that pull against each other, and it allows you to pump it up to a very strong 10 psi. So that's what I'm setting the automatic pump to, is a 10 psi. And I'm constantly making sure that the floor is positioned underneath the pontoons. Now that extra sound you hear on the pump is it kicking into its second stage operation. When you pump to these higher PSI levels, you need a two-stage pump that'll get it to that full 10 PSI, which is what it's doing right now. See, right now it's only at 4 PSI, and it's hard, but it's going to be very hard once it's at 10 psi. It gives you a lot of stability. Now last, before I put the final PSI into the pontoons, they're at probably about 2.5 PSI now. I need to get them up to 3.2. You want to pound this floor where it hits the pontoon. And you just want to make sure that it's seated in to the bottom of the kayak, where you can see it kind of bulges out. That means it's properly seated in. And I'm going to do it to the other side as well. It's already seated in pretty much, but just do this for a quick little insurance. And it's all seated in, ready to go. Let's get that final air in there. And we're going to the 3.2 PSI. Now the boat's full and ready to go. And again, that really takes only about 8 minutes to get it pumped up, maybe 5 once you get really good at it. And you're off and ready to go. But when you're done, it's rolled up and stored on a shelf in your garage. And when you're ready to go out, you don't need roof racks on your vehicle. You just roll it up and put it in the back of your hatchback or your trunk or your pickup bed or wherever. Okay, and again, what I have here is the 380X. And this is the most popular boat in the Sea Eagle product line from the Explorer line of kayaks. The 380X is 39 inches wide. All of the Explorer kayaks are 39 inches wide. This one is 12'6" long, and it'll hold 750 pounds. That's the power of inflatable kayaks. They hold a lot of weight, which allows you to do a lot of things. Here, I got my cheat sheet here. The 300X is the smallest in their product line. It's a one-person kayak. It is 9'10" in length, and it holds it holds 395 pounds. It's only 30 pounds in weight, so very easy to carry. This 380X kayak, again, the medium-sized, is only 40 pounds. Very easy to pick up and carry, but again, it carries 750 pounds. The other size they have on top of this is the 420X. The 420X is 14 feet long. It carries 855 pounds, and it's only 4 pounds heavier than this one, the largest one, the 420X. It's only 44 pounds in weight. Unbelievable. Now, the 300X, the first one I talked to you about, that's a small one. That's a one-person kayak. The 380X that I have here is a 1 or 2 people kayak, and I'll show you the seating configurations here in a second. And then the 420X is a 2 or 3 person kayak. That's the largest in the line. Now they also have a fishing model. The fishing model is a little bit different size than any of the 3 that I've talked about already. The fishing model is the 350FX, F for fishing. So 350FX, it's 11'6" long, so it's a foot shorter than this kayak. It's still 39 inches wide, like all of them. It's 51 pounds to carry, to pick up, and its capacity that it'll hold on the water is 575 pounds. Again, 4 awesome options. Let's talk about the seating. Now you have several seating options with the Explorer line of kayaks. The first I'll show you is the black high back seat. Now it's cushioned, it's a very firm cushion bottom, but then you have these high backs that kind of wrap around you and give you really good back support. They just simply fit right in, and then you have 4 clips, and the clips hook to these D-rings right here. There's D-rings here and here, here and here, and you just clip them to the D-rings and then click the back one to the back D-ring, and you do the same thing on the other side and you're ready to go. Now, because these kayaks have big high pontoons, it's better to elevate your seating position. It gives you a higher pitched paddling stroke, and it makes for more efficient paddling, and it also gives you less paddle drip into the boat when you do that. So what they offer, and you don't have to use this, but this just makes it a heck of a lot better. They make a 5-inch inflatable cushion that you can set right in there, sit down, and you have good back support on the back. Now these seats can go, 2 of them, the front passenger, if you have 2, if you're paddling tandem, you hook to this D-ring and this D-ring by moving the seat right here. And I'll demonstrate that real quick. Again, that first passenger seat would be sitting about right up here. And then the second passenger, well, I'm going to show you the other seat option. They have the inflatable high back seat. That's your third option. And all it does is clip to the D-ring and clip to the D-ring, and you're ready to go. There's not a lot of room back behind the back passenger. If you're going to paddle tandem, you know, there'll be a room to you know, stuff a little cooler in here, stuff a cooler back behind you, and maybe something between your legs. But my dad and I have been in this, just set up just like this. He's 6'1", I'm 6 foot. We did fine. We just didn't have a lot of room for other things. So if you want to have a lot of room for a dog or some camping items, then you want to go to the bigger kayak, which is the 14-footer, and that was the 420X. But again, this is your seating configuration. You have a lot of options. You can go high back with no seat cushion. You can go high back with seat cushion, or you can go air with, you know, it's all one piece and it just clamps right in right here. Super comfortable because you can adjust the amount of softness you want by how much air you put in the seat. But take these down. I want to talk about the drainage on this kayak. This is what really makes this a do-everything kayak. And what I mean from do everything, you can stand up in it and paddle it like a paddleboard. You can sit down and paddle it in calm water like you have right here. You can take it to the beach and go surfing with it. The 300X is probably the best for that one. That's the smallest one, but this one will work as well. You can take it up to class 4 rapids, which is, you know, that's big, right? That's big whitewater. And I've done that, and here's some footage of it as well that you'll see throughout this video. You can load it up with 2 big dogs and go out kayaking. A lot of people are like, I got 2 Labradors, what do I take them in? Well, it's hard to do that in a hard shell kayak because they don't have the load carrying capacity. And if they do, then they're extremely heavy. They're like 100 pounds to carry and move around. So for me, that's not an option. I don't like all that hassle. You can load them up with a week's worth of camping gear and go kayaking. You can take a partner kayaking. An adult can paddle with 2 kids, small children paddling with them. So you can do anything with this kayak. It's not a really fast kayak, but it's a very versatile kayak. And you're not going to get to where you want to go faster. Think of it as, you know, a fast touring kayak is like a fast road bike. Whereas this kayak is like a slower mountain bike. You can ride a mountain bike on any road or any trail that's paved or whatnot. Same thing with this mountain bike kayak. You can use it in any situation. So one of the things that's really unique about it, if you, for anybody that does whitewater, you'll notice there's 16 drain plugs positioned in the bottom of the hull here. On the inside, you just loosen up the caps for each drain plug, and if you're whitewater rafting and water comes over the bow of the kayak and completely floods this boat, within like 15 seconds, all the water's drained out. So it's impossible to sink this boat. If you're snorkeling or scuba diving and you're in and out of the boat a lot, any water that you bring in is not going to fill up the boat with water because it just self-drains. If you're out surfing, and you're going out and a big wave crashes over you, fills the boat up with water, no problem. By the time you paddle a few more strokes and turn around, ready for that next wave, the boat's empty and ready to go. So that is a huge deal. Now for flat water paddling, like I'm doing today, I have all of them filled up or, you know, plugged up so we don't have any water coming in the boat at all. Now what about paddles? Well, when you buy a Sea Eagle, they have wonderful packages of paddles and paddles that come designed for these boats. With a boat like this, again, this boat is 39 inches wide. So what that means is that you want a paddle that's long enough to get into the water without you having to reach over each side each time you paddle. You have a short little paddle, you're gonna have to reach over here, and kind of lean to paddle. So you want to stay stationary, so you want to paddle when you're holding the paddle to be long enough to get into the water and without you having to reach each time that you paddle. For this type of boat, you need a 240 to 250 centimeter paddle. I think they make 260, but that would come to like 7'10" or 8-foot paddles. The kayaks, the paddles that Sea Eagle sells with their packages, they have an aluminum shaft paddle. They have the AB30 and AB40 paddles that are 7'10" or 8 foot. Again, I think the 8 foot's the best. These aluminum shaft paddles, they come apart here here, and here. So they break into 4 pieces. If you think you're going to travel with this and you want to stuff this in the bag, like a backpack that you can get to put this kayak in, or if you want them to take up minimal space, the aluminum shaft is a good one to go with. Now, aluminum shaft paddles are a little bit heavier. If you're going to paddle a lot, there's a little bit more fatigue over time associated with aluminum shaft paddles, but they're great options. They have a carbon fiber paddle that's suited for the length of this boat as well. What carbon fiber is going to do, it's just going to be a much lighter shaft. It's going to be easier on paddling if you're going to be paddling a lot of strokes over a long time. So less paddle fatigue. The carbon fiber shaft paddle just breaks in half. So it's not a 4-piece like the other aluminum shaft paddles. So it'll take up a little bit more space. You can kind of see right here how much space that takes up. So if you think you're going to check it on an airplane, you want to go with the 4-piece aluminum shaft. Now, when I get you out on the water with me, I'm going to do some speed tests with this, and I'm going to show you how fast you can paddle this just with a normal cruising comfortable paddle stroke, and show you how many miles per hour you can paddle. Then I'll show you kind of what the top speed is. Now, with all of the Sea Eagle inflatables and their paddle boards, you have a really cool option that even rounds this kayak out even more. And that is the Bixby electric motor. This Bixby electric motor, it's torpedo shaped, and it slides in to the skeg assembly underneath the kayak. And then this cable comes over the pontoon and it hooks to a positive buoyancy battery pack. And this, at just a low cruising speed, this will give you an extra couple miles an hour per hour paddling, and this will go like 8 to 10 hours. If you go at maximum speed, you can go about 85 minutes and get up to, well, we'll see out there. When you hit it with the kill switch, boom, turns on. You have 6 LED indicators. That's your battery strength. Usually when I get out from a couple hours of paddling, I've only used 2 dots, and there's like 4 left. But that's, you know, if you do fall out of the boat, you hook this to your PFD, and if you fall out of the boat, well, you know, this will come with you. It'll leave the battery in the boat, it'll turn off the motor, so you're not high and dry with, or low and wet in the water with the boat continuing to go on. Now, why would you want the Bixby? It's nothing that you need. You can paddle and enjoy this kayak as it is by itself. Suppose you want to cover more distance. It is a slower paddling kayak. This gives you speed equivalency of like a touring style kayak. Suppose you got friends and they're in faster, smaller, narrower kayaks, and you're like, oh, I'll never keep up with them in this Explorer. Well, get a Bixby, put it on there, and you can keep up with the fastest kayakers out there. It's just like an e-bike. It's just paddle assist instead of pedal assist on a bike. It's paddle assist. It's not cheating. It goes straight. You don't turn the motor. Everything is done with your oars. So paddling is exactly the same with the Bixby motor on. Now, the way this Bixby motor works, I'm going to have this out here as well as just the regular skeg for paddling here. The battery's here. The cord goes to the motor on the side, and you have a remote control. You have 12 speeds forward. And look at the current. I'm on speed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. That's only half speed. I just hit the stop button and it stops. And then I have 3 speeds in reverse. And those 3 speeds in reverse will just get you out of any area that you want to just back out of. Tremendously powerful, unbelievable boat, and an unbelievable accessory to add at the beginning or 2 years down the road to your Explorer. Okay, here's the standard skeg that I'm going to slide in to the back of the kayak. It's you know, not real long, but this gives you stability if you're out there paddling without a motor or anything like that. If you're in whitewater, again, you don't want the skeg, but we're going to use this for almost all paddling situations. Now let's talk about storage. This is the huge Yeti bag that they have, like a little tote bag. It's huge. It holds a bunch. I could put 2 of them in the back here, or a very large 46 quart, 48 quart igloo or Yeti type cooler. I could put the same up in the front. So again, that thing with, you're paddling with 2 large dogs, you're taking camping equipment for 2 or 3 nights out, maybe a week out, you can store it no problem here in this boat. A good test for stability is when you get into a boat. If you're inexperienced, maybe a heavier paddler, maybe a older elderly paddler, and you're concerned about the stability of the boat and am I going to tip, this is the safest kayak you could ever use. I'd have to say it's literally impossible to flip. I'm sure it could be, but it's difficult. I'm 185 pounds and I'm just sitting here on the edge of the pontoon with my knees. Totally stable. I'm going to lean over and just get into the boat. And voila, totally stable. No problem at all getting into this boat. You don't feel at any time like you're going to be tipping over or anything like that. And again, you can stand up and paddle in the boat as well. The thing I like about these high back seats is the support for your back. It's like it comes up right to the middle of my back, even sitting on this 5-inch cushion. But again, the 5-inch cushion gets me elevated, so I can get a higher paddling vantage point to the water, a higher angle of attack to the water, and it helps reduce the amount of paddle drift that comes back into the boat. A lot of people ask, well, you know, I don't see on the side of the hull adjustable foot skegs or anything to put your feet in for foot braces. There's nothing on these that comes with these Explorer pontoon style kayaks. Now, from Sea Eagle, you can order them and add them if you want to. I've never felt the need to do it. You know, when I'm in a high performance touring kayak, like the Razor Light or like a hard shell high performance touring kayak, there you want to be able to push against it to brace and, you know, paddling in rough waves to just get more strength in your paddle stroke. With this kayak, this is a laid back paddle, and it's not the fastest kayak, but it's the most versatile kayak in what you can do. And I don't really find where I need to have those adjustable foot skegs. I don't feel like, you know, I'm missing anything, but you certainly can add them. They just glue right on, and they'll be there forever if you want to have them. Okay, we're going to do some speed tests here. I have the Bixby motor on, and I have, again, there's 1 to 12 speeds forward. I have it right in the middle on 6-speed, and not doing anything, I'm going 2.2 miles per hour. And because the motor's positioned straight, so it's only going to propel me straight. Actually, I'm doing 2.4 miles per hour. So let's just do just a nice, easy paddle stroke. This is just cruising speed. A stroke that you can do all day long. You know, I'm doing 3.4 miles per hour. Now, if you're out with friends that are in faster kayaks, and you're like, oh, I'm never going to keep up with them, you go 3.4 miles per hour without breaking a sweat, and you can keep up with just about anybody. And let's take it all the way up to full speed now. Okay, nice easy paddle stroke. That same paddle stroke I had at half speed. At full speed, I'm going 4.2 miles per hour. That's pretty darn good. Now let me just put the hammer down here. Let's go at it nice and hard. You know, you're not going to do this all day long, and you're not going to go at full speed all day long, but I'm getting up to 4.4 miles per hour. Again, not bad. I'm really moving. 4.5 is what it got up to. So, again, with the Bixby, I wanted to bring this along just to show you the options that we have, because I'm saying This is the do everything kayak. So, you know, sometimes everything includes a e-kayaking motor like the Bixby. Again, 12 speeds forward. If you go like speed 4 out of 12, you can get 8 to 10 hours out of the battery life on a day. If you go full, all out, 12 speed, the fastest you can go, you're supposed to get 85 minutes. And that's true based on, you know, the different outings that I've had and really put it to the test. It's a great investment a year, 2 years, 6 months down the road after you get this kayak and you want to add some accessories to it. I mean, let's face it, everybody adds accessories. So I'm going to get off and I'm going to pull out the motor. I'm going to put the skeg in and we're going to take that and see what the paddling speeds are as well, just with the plain skeg in the back of the kayak. Okay, we're sitting here with the speedometer and we are going 0 miles per hour just sitting here. So no wind is affecting us at all right now. Let's get it going. The idea is just to get it up to a cruising paddle stroke. Just one of those paddle strokes that you can do for several hours, do it all day long, not wear yourself out. And in doing that right now, looking down at it, I'm going 2.5 to 2.8 miles per hour. Now I'm going 2.9 miles per hour. And, oh, I just hit 3 miles per hour. Now with the Bixby, we were going about 3.4 miles per hour. So just a little bit more on medium speed. So, yeah, it just climbed up to 3.1 miles per hour. And again, this is just a very easy paddle stroke. And, you know, there's no wind in my face, no wind at my back. I'm in a perfectly neutral situation. If I have to put the hammer down and really get going, in a racing situation, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9. Oh, let's hit 4 miles per hour. Huh, okay, I can't keep up that too long. But you can see, you can easily paddle this boat in, you know, light to moderate wind conditions, 2 miles an hour to 2.8 miles per hour. And that's not bad, especially, this is the mountain bike of kayaks. It's the do everything. It's meant to take big waves or big rocks like a mountain bike or very calm waters. That's really good. I'm really impressed. 2.7, 2.6. I've never put the speedometer to it when I've just been out here paddling, you know, for the heck of it. Okay, the rear skeg is in, the standard skeg, and we're moving right along. I'm paddling into about an 8 mile an hour wind into the headwind, and it's not bad at all. I've had a year and a half with 2 Explorer kayaks, the 380X that I'm in right now, and the smaller 300X. And I like doing reviews after I've been in them for quite a while and done so many different things. I've had them up in North Carolina doing up to class 3 whitewater on the Nantahala River, and performs flawlessly. Extremely stable, even in class 3 rapids. Now, I haven't been up to class 4 yet. That's on my list. I've had them out camping down rivers. I've had them in springs. I've had them with my dad on a big lake with a Bixby motor on it. So 2 6-foot people inside this boat, perform flawlessly. I've just used it in all types of settings. And I've had a lot of situations where I've had buddies that want to go with me kayaking, and I throw them in here, and I have some other ones, just depending on what their paddling need is, what their skill is, what their experience is. I put a lot of people in this boat. I've taken it and gone out and stood up and paddleboarded with it. I mean, it's really like paddling a paddleboard, just a heck of a lot more stable. And then when you want to sit down, you have a chair to sit down, and you can keep on paddling like you do with a kayak. Just so much versatility with this boat, and the ability to do just about whatever you want. So let's get a speed test going now. I'm going to get the speedometer out on my iPhone, and turn it on, and we'll see what we're doing paddling without any Bixby motor. I left the Bixby on shore, so we're out here with just a skeg. Okay, let's talk about the safety aspects of the Sea Eagle. Well, all their kayaks, but here the Explorer. This is constructed out of 1000 denier material, and all the seams are quadruple overlapped, glued, extremely durable. Same thing with the floor, 1000 denier, drop stitch, and very, very durable. Now, you have 3 air chambers. Should one air chamber come compromised, start leaking, anything like that, typically if you get a leak, and I haven't had one yet, but typically if you get a leak, it's just this very small pinhole leak, and you feel it start to just loosen and lessen over time. And if that's the case, Sea Eagle ships you with the kayak a repair kit. And this repair kit has fast, quick repair patches, or it has standard patches and glue. And whichever you use, if you pull the boat up on the shoreline and you prep that area and cut yourself a little patch and glue it on, all with the kayak deflated, then carry your, I always carry a pump with me. It's just insurance. I'm on the shoreline, I got it patched, it's sat for about 30 minutes. I pump it up and I'm ready to go. So there is security in it. Now, if you're quite a bit offshore and you have a leak and it starts leaking, well, you have 2 other air chambers to get you back to shore. But again, it's extremely unlikely that you're going to get a leak in these boats if you take care of them. They even have at Sea Eagle, they have a video, and I'll put it here on screen now. They have a video where they're taking a Jeep and they're driving it over this, and nothing happens. The guy's even taking cinder blocks, throwing it into the kayak, boom, and they just bounce out because of the springiness of the inflatable hull. And he even takes the claw of a hammer and he's hitting it with the claw of a hammer. No problem at all. So very safe boats, and also very safe because they're very stable. If you're a heavy set paddler and you're in a rigid hull kayak that is, moderately width, so like maybe it's 32 inches wide, maybe it's 12 and a half feet long, it's only going to hold probably 350 pounds, maybe 400 pounds. But if you're 260 pounds in here and then you have 30-40 pounds of gear in here with you, you only have about 80 pounds left. And in doing that, the boat is riding very low in the water line. And in doing that, when it's riding very low, it's displacing a lot of water, and you have to paddle against that water with all that displacement, and it makes it harder to paddle. With this boat that holds 750 pounds, if you put 400 pounds in it, it's sitting up very nicely, and it's not sinking in the water as much, and it's not displacing a lot of water, and it's still easy to paddle. So, keep those things in mind. Inflatables are extremely safe, and it's just the convenience of owning one. You don't have to, have a roof rack. You don't have to have a kayak rack in your garage. You don't have to, have the poor gas mileage of transporting it on top of your car. You don't have the expense of buying that roof rack on top of your car. You don't have the uncertainty of it maybe getting stolen off the top of your car. So it's just, when I get back to the ramp, I'll show you. I just hit the deflation valves. Psst, all the air shoots out immediately. I roll it up, and within 5 minutes, I have it in the back of my car and I'm out of here. So super, super convenient and easy to use and easy to get out on the water with. Okay, my legs are tired. I'm ready to stand up. Let's do a little standing up here. A lot of times I'll just bring my paddleboard paddle with me, but in a pinch, you can hold your standard paddle and paddle just fine, and tracks very nicely with that rear skeg in. It's not nearly as unstable as a normal paddleboard, Although, you know, a normal paddle board in this width wouldn't be unstable anyway. My paddle board's 30 inches wide, and it can be quite a bit tippy, but super easy to stand up and paddle. And you know, after a while, after you've been paddling, you want to stand up and stretch your legs, and you can do that with this. Or when I'm in Florida going down the springs, crystal clear river, or out in the crystal clear water of the beaches, the salt water in Florida, anywhere where there's clear water, I love to be able to stand up. And to be able to stand up and get that higher vantage point is really great. And I love the ability to stand up in these boats. Or, you know, when I'm ready, there we go. Wasn't hard at all, just sit down. And not a bit unstable. Hey, thank you so much for coming with me. I'm gonna pull up at the boat ramp. I'm gonna show you, it's amazing how easy this is to deflate and roll up and put in the vehicle. But before I get there, I just want to thank you for watching. I really enjoy doing these review videos, and I also enjoy even more all the adventure videos that I take you on. And it's the beginning of 2024, a beautiful day in January here in North Texas. But in 2024, I'm going to be pumping out a ton more adventure videos, mainly kayaking and boating and a little bit of biking. But you know, like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps the algorithms. I really appreciate your support. If you like this video, smash that like button and also subscribe. And I will see you out on the water next time. God bless and safe adventuring out there.